They don't want you to see your potential because they can't yet see their potential. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, that's big. Hey y'all, it's tastePINK. Welcome back. Now, we've been talking a lot about leveling up. I think a lot of women and people in general are just trying to expose themselves to a different way of living. You guys want to improve your lifestyle. You want to change your thinking. You definitely want to kind of integrate yourself into different circles. And I think all of that is possible. I am someone who I have definitely had a journey where I leveled up, and I am still on the on the journey, on the path to leveling up, to improving who I am, improving my brand representation, and my image. Trust me, when you are trying to make progress and elevate, you definitely are going to find that sometimes it's a bit isolating. You will feel alone at times, but I want to tell you, stick with it. Don't give up when it gets hard. When you see people around you, they don't share your same ideas, it's hard to kind of, push forward, because then you start to question your own thinking. But I want to tell you, you're on the right path. You're already in the perfect headspace to consider completely altering where you are in your life and how you can improve it. And we have a sponsor. Today's sponsor is Teddy Blake. Listen, I tasked myself with drawing parallels between leveling up along with this designer bag. I want y'all to stick with me, okay? If you are interested in Teddy Blake, even in this style, I want you to click the link in the description box. And if you're someone who likes luxury, that luxurious kind of aesthetic, because I'm all about luxuriating, definitely check out their website. This is the Ava Croco Gold. This is the 9-inch in the color orange. Now, I chose this bag because I'm like, you know what? It is very, very alluring. It like grabs your attention. That is a little bit of how my personality is. I want to draw people to me because the outside, it radiates. People are drawn to me and they feel my warmth. Okay, the orange color giving that warmth, and it's polished. Okay, I am someone who, when I present myself, I give the girls a polished look because I like that aesthetic. I like that look. I like that put togetherness. But no, that's not all that you have to be on your journey. And so you want to be multifaceted, and you want to have aspects about yourself that aren't always on display. Like I said, telling the girls, you want to make yourself a bit of a mystery, so you want to have layers to yourself. And that complexity, is something that you can gain as you are on your journey. So again, I'm going to be drawing parallels to this bag and about leveling up. And I have some things in this bag that you guys are gonna you're gonna gag. When you get into the way that I did this concept, you're gonna die a little bit. We already know why I chose this bag. Polished, it has the premium Italian leather made in Italy. Again, luxury at a very fair price. And it speaks to my personality, very bright. The inside of this bag is absolutely gorgeous. I have some note cards in here because we're gonna get into how you level up and what it's gonna look like. So, one of the very first things in this bag was good mental health. And I think people don't fully grasp how much work you have to do mentally to prepare yourself for the process of leveling up. Good mental health is understanding that on those times where you are completely just riddled with discomfort, when you are in an area in your life where you are not necessarily pleased and you feel like giving up, do you have the mental capacity, the strength to continue to keep moving forward? It takes a very strong individual to prioritize their mental health, because within that space you find your clarity, you find your purpose, and the reason why you're even embarking on this process. You develop thinking that is a lot more sharp, that is in tune with your purpose. And I think it's really key that you try to, navigate, those hardships, but also understand that when you get over those hardships and those challenges and you persevere, you strengthen your mind, you further develop yourself as a person. When you are changing your environment, when you are changing so many variables in your life, starting from within, it can be exhausting mentally. So I want you guys to tighten up on your mental health. There's going to be people around you who are going to challenge your thinking. And just because you have this idea of thinking that is different from people that are in your clique, that are in your group, it does not mean that your thoughts are invalid. Sometimes that's how you find yourself in new circles, integrating yourself into different spaces, different environments, venues, because maybe you've kind of sheltered yourself, or you've narrowed your thinking. Now the next thing in this bag, okay, is determination. Are you determined to see this entire process through? There was someone who came up with the concept for Teddy Blake. Are there tons of brands out there that are doing exactly this? But how do they make themselves distinct? How do they make themselves stand out? How do they make it so that when they reach out to me in my inbox, I'm actually willing to collaborate with them? Think about how an idea, someone conceptualized this idea, they saw it from beginning to end, all the hardships and the hurdles. And today we have this beautiful Ava Crocco gold 9-inch bag in orange. Sis, okay, stick with me. So being determined means staying the course. Being determined means consistently finding new information. I don't want you guys to rely on me to spoon feed you information. I want you to get more comfortable, just embarking on that journey, that quest for knowledge, because the more knowledgeable you are, the more powerful you are, the more that you can contribute to conversations, the more that you can insert yourself into a narrative, a dialogue, because you know what it is that you want to say, and you have valuable contributions to a conversation and to this world. And you have to find a good balance of being determined, but don't be so determined that you're stuck in your ways, that you isolate very good people from you. Granted, when you are elevating, when you are leveling up, you're shedding this layer, because again, it's a lot of internal work. But that internal work, when you fully see it through, the outside of you changes, your outlook begins to change, you become a very different person. And so don't be so adamant about sticking in your ways, because we already realized that the reason you want to level up is because what you were previously doing is no longer working. The reason why I prioritize things like good mental health and determination and really focusing on that mental aspect of things is because that is where the change begins. But I don't want you guys to neglect yourself. So many women write into me, they speak to me, and they share so many concerns about how they don't prioritize themselves. The people around them don't consider them as a top priority. And so you have yourself in these situations, in these circumstances where you are dealing with people who don't really see your worth, because there's a time when you didn't see your worth. And so self-care is really important. Okay, self-care is big. I am always preaching to you all about self-care. Self-care is rooted in centering yourself and figuring out what your body needs, your mind needs, what your emotional and spiritual self yearns for. And it's making sure that you don't neglect those things, and that you cater your routines to strengthening any areas of your life that may be suffering, where there may be an imbalance, where let's say you're working long hours and you haven't really given yourself the time to take a little bit more time in the morning to actually develop a morning routine. How many of us spend so much time doing things for other people that don't serve us? Where does that get you? Because there's something that you've wanted to do that's on your to-do list that now you have put on the back burner because you're concerned about how you have to get something done for someone else. You're on someone else's time. When you create self-care, you create a routine that centers around you, your time, your priorities, and what's important and valid to you. This journey is going to be one where you have to be selfish. And so getting comfortable in creating a routine that centers you, makes you the focus, I don't ever want you to feel bad about it. And I think if more of us did that, we would be more healthy, more fit mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and that would transcend into other areas of our life. Okay, again, self-care is getting a gorgeous, luxurious bag at a very affordable price, because one, you work hard and you know that you are working towards changing your reality, and sometimes treating yourself is proof of the fact that your circumstances are improving for the better. Okay? Next thing that must be in your bag, that is a starter tip that I want you to consider, being goal-oriented. You have to be a self-starter. You have to really look at things from the lens of, I need to get this done because my mental health, my happiness, my success is, riding on this. And not that you want to put too much into your goals so that you overwhelm yourself. It's about making a to-do list that's realistic, making goals that are short-term, that are long-term, and also checking in with yourself. How many of us are getting things done, but we're not checking in with ourselves? Remember those things that you said you wanted to do maybe a year ago that you may have forgotten about? Are you writing these things down? And why I like to show you guys things like note cards, journals. We need to start writing more, because if it is here, bring it through, make it so that you write it down. It registers through your mouth. You can speak the words that you're writing and it registers. Your eyes register what it is that you are saying, and you can begin to envision it. You can create a plan, you can execute. It's not always just about creating a goal, but it's about having that execution plan. A lot of people are visionaries, but how many people can execute? The logistics are what catch people up. And I want you guys to stay rooted in your process, knowing from start to finish what you need to get done. And if there are any areas of uncertainty, you have the ability to acquire that information. Where do you need to strengthen? Maybe you've come to this video and you're like, I just needed a little bit more perspective, because I find that I'm not really solid in what it is that I want. And so I just need a little bit more confirmation, some affirmation, some positivity, surrounding myself with that positivity so that I know I can get my goals achieved. I can be successful. I can prosper even when my environment isn't reflecting my success, because you also have to prepare yourself for leveling up. Your environment, your circumstances, the conditions may not look successful in that moment, but like I said, that determination, continuing to move forward and really making progress on every level. You don't have to look at it, I need to be CEO of my company by next year. Break your goals down. Do not overwhelm yourself, and understand that if you conceive it, that is where it starts. And if you can conceive it, it is possible. It has significance, it has importance, it has value, and you need to pursue it. The next thing in this bag, because this is a big thing, forgiveness. And you're like, ooh, how does this even fit into this entire level up, elevation, making progress, and just graduating to the next level? How does that fit in? I told you guys you're going to start shedding parts of yourself. Literally, you're going to change circles of friends. You are going to change the dynamic in which, you interact with people. The more aware that you are of yourself, the better you can sometimes see other people. You can see what people are actually in your life to add value, and which people in your life are just there to take from you. I think we have to start focusing more on forgiving ourselves for our old ways, being set in our ways and not understanding how that would make us stagnant. Forgiving ourselves for allowing other people to influence and impose upon our success, our ability to make progress. Sometimes we give people way too much power over our thinking, over our lives, over the goals that we have for ourselves, because sometimes people are projecting. They don't want you to see your potential because they can't yet see their potential. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. That's big. Forgive yourself for remaining in those friendship circles that didn't serve you for too long, or staying in that relationship or that marriage long before, it was over. You overstayed your visit. And as a result, sometimes you lose yourself. You allow other people to mistreat you, and you allow other people to dictate your value. Forgive yourself for those things. Now, the last thing in this bag is limitless thinking. And I think a lot of the other note cards that I showed, the themes, the starter tips that I shared, they align with this one. How many of us were sheltered growing up? How many of us allowed other people to influence the way that we think? How many of us impose limits upon ourselves or other people because of what we couldn't see ourselves doing? A lot of us jeopardize our success, our friendship circles, and our growth, our evolution, because we have that ceiling. We have a ceiling in our lives and we don't believe that we can surpass it. Those limits are what's going to hold you back. Embracing that limitless thinking is what's going to propel you into an entirely different realm. This is what leveling up is all about. The moment that you let go, that you allow yourself to sit in that discomfort, to allow yourself to feel what that feels like, that isolation, but also understanding that that isolation and sometimes, you know, being alone, not lonely, you start to appreciate that solitude, that peace, because, you know, when you find that peace, so much comes to you, so much clarity, so many messages from whatever you higher power you believe in, the messages, everything, you know, the details, the fine details, it all starts to come to you. So I wanted to make parallels to this bag because, again, it is very much like myself, very vibrant, very radiant. It grabs you, it's alluring, it's appealing. But beyond that, it gives you that luxurious feel. But what goes into this is so much more, the craftsmanship. Think about how you all are crafting a new reality for your life. That is so important, the power that you possess. Take control. But this is how you can begin to tailor your style as you begin to level up. My emphasis in today's video was about working on the internal, and then once you have that shift, that evolution, you can pivot and begin focusing on the exterior. I don't want you all to think that leveling up is rooted in materialistic things. This is something that you could purchase as a means of self-care because you've been working so hard and it's time for you to treat yourself. Don't deprive yourself. Don't self-sabotage. Don't say, you know, I can't do this. This isn't for me. I have other things to prioritize. And that may be the case. But I want you to reconcile with the fact that there will come a day where you can do this, you can buy this, and it's nothing. And I believe that, and I see that for you. When people ask you what's in your bag, you know what you want to say? Good mental health, okay? Because we're keeping it small, short, and sweet and to the point. We're not bag ladies over here. We have self-care. We prioritize ourselves. We create routines that center around us so that we can be our better self. We have limitless thinking because we don't have ceilings, okay? We don't envision limitations. We don't impose limitations on ourselves nor the people who are in our circle, and we don't surround ourselves with people who project their own self-imposed limitations on us. We have forgiveness, because we recognize the ways in which we previously were thinking were a detriment to our growth. And so in changing that and, you know, fully investing yourself in this change, you have to forgive your past. We want determination in our bag. Very huge. Determination to keep going even when it gets tough, when you feel like you're isolated, when you feel like you're alone, but you understand this all has a purpose and you are goal-oriented, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I know this video probably was a little bit long, but I appreciate you sticking with me. If you are interested in this, definitely check the description box. Okay, I have several and I want to tell you, honey, they do not disappoint, and you will see this on my Instagram. So make sure you guys follow me, and then don't forget to subscribe, join the family, turn your post notifications on, share this with your homeboys and your homegirls, because there was a powerful message in today's video. And I also want you guys to kiki with me in the comments, and don't forget to thumbs up because this was a great message. All right, guys.